and now we get what I was looking for. I am sailing! Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the studio with a good cup of coffee for one more vocal analysis, and today we're going to listen to First to 11 playing Zombie by the Cranberries acoustic. And I'm really excited for this one because I really like First to 11. I think they are a great band, and I love a lot of the versions that they released over the years of famous songs, rock songs, pop songs. So this one is new. I opened YouTube today and it was recommended to me. It was released, I think, yesterday, and of course I want to analyze it with you guys, so that's what we're doing today. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Kaiulesh. I'm a singer-songwriter and voice teacher. As a singer-songwriter, I'm about to release my next single. It's called Canvas of My Soul. I'm really hyped for it because if you are into rock, you like the sort of guitars, high vocals, you might like the song, so stay tuned. And I'll leave a link up here for my latest single. It's called Leave It All Behind. It's also the same style, rock, sort of guitars, high vocals, really energetic. If you are into rock, chances are you will like it, and I would love to hear your feedback on it. Okay, now as a voice teacher slash vocal coach, my work is focused on laryngeal biomechanics and physiology. So basically what the muscles that we have inside our larynxes, our throats, they do in order to achieve the sounds that we have in contemporary singing. And that's pretty much what we're doing today with this analysis. We'll be listening to Audra Miller and we'll be analyzing what she's doing with her voice, so that if you want, you can get similar results with yours. If you want to become my singing student, check out the link in the description for my online singing program, Building Your Voice. In there we cover a range of different topics inside vocal technique, vocal pedagogy. We talk about how to belt, how to reach high notes, how to sing low notes with power as well, but also how to be really expressive with your voice using soft sounds, what we call passive vocal schemes. We talk about ornaments such as vibratos, yodels, runs. We have a complete module on vocal distortions. How to practice and apply them in a way that will not hurt your voice, in a way that's safe for your voice. Of course, we don't want to get hurt practicing vocal techniques. We have a vocal exercise library with exercises for you to practice each of the techniques. And if you want to get more info on the program, everything that we cover, because all of this and much more, you might find the link in the description. Alright, so check it out. Now, without further ado, let's listen to First to 11 playing Zombie by the Cranberries. Love the harmony there. Really beautiful already. Such a classic, right, guys? Such a classic.
Another head hangs slowly, child is slowly taken.
Alright, so here we can already point out that she's using a vocal scheme that we call breathy voice. Inside Vocal Anthropophysiology, we call that breathy voice. And Vocal Anthropophysiology is a theoretical framework for my work here as a voice teacher. And in there we separate, the first big separation that we have there would be between active vocal schemes and passive vocal schemes. Whether we have more contraction of the vocalis muscles, or if these muscles, which are pretty much your vocal folds, the muscle parts of your vocal folds, are more relaxed. And for the breathy voice, you're more relaxed, so we don't have as much compression. And we also have a couple other muscles, the posterior cricoid muscles, responsible for opening your vocal folds a little bit so that we can have that airiness, that breathy sound. And that's the reason why we call that a breathy voice. Now, these muscles, the posterior cricoid muscles, they are really important muscles because they also act, guess what, when we breathe. We need to open our vocal folds in order to breathe. And also having them strong is great because that will decrease the chances of you passing yourself and straining too much whenever you want to sing with active vocal schemes. Sometimes you'll be trying to sing with a strong tone and it might be too strong and you might strain too much. And if these muscles are strong, chances are that they will not let you apply too much effort. So that's the reason why working on these muscles is really, really good, and a great way of doing that is with the breathy voice. Now, we also use that, apart from the breathy voice and breathing, for some vocal distortions that have breathiness, like the phaser voice. I am sailing. This kind of sound here. All right, let's keep going.
And the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken?
She also uses creaky voices, and quite a lot, right? The creaky voice is this really small distortion, which is quite similar to the fry sound. The difference is that the fry sound won't have fundamental pitch. We have the vocal folds pretty much close together, just the tips of the arytenoid cartilages hitting each other to create that distortion. As soon as we start to relax that, allowing the vibration of the vocal folds as well, then it becomes a creaky because we get that fundamental pitch.
But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. In your head,
Hey! Now she's going for active sounds there. Of course, it blends well in the song. It doesn't sound super strong, but she's starting to go towards activating her vocal folds, which would translate in terms of vocal schemes to a belting, what we call inside vocal anthropophysiology a warn voice, a voice that you would use to warn someone about something. Hey! Hey!
they are crying.
In your hey! A warn voice, as if you were calling someone on the other side of the street. Hey! Hey!
In your head, tell me.
And now we get what I was looking for. Never watched this video, never heard their version of the song, but this song to me is really important. It's crucial that any version of this song has yodels, and here we can have an argument of whether it has to be intentional or not, but those controlled breaks, because Dolores was such an amazing yodeler. Well, the yodels are so dear to this song that I can't help but waiting for yodels whenever I listen to this song, and here we're starting to have them. Za, za, za. That transition, that abrupt transition between active and passive right there, that's a yodel. Amazing, that's it. That's what I was looking for.
What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie.
Beautiful. Creakies, breathy, changing slightly the melody. And that's something that I like quite a lot. Whenever singers change slightly the songs, keeping some of their core characteristics, like the yodels, but they translate that song to their own styles. Sometimes they change slightly the melody, which is what Audra is doing right there. So I really like it, and I think that that's the main function of vocal technique, to show yourself, to express yourself with your voice. And of course, the song itself is a tool, and your voice and the sounds that you're able to produce with your voice are also tools that you use to convey emotion. So that to me is the function of vocal technique. So that's the reason why I get really upset whenever people say that, oh, don't learn vocal technique because you sound robotic, you lose all the emotion. No, that's the opposite. Good vocal technique is precisely what will give you the ability to convey emotion with your singing. But you need to understand that these sounds, these different techniques, a breathy voice, a creaky voice, a warm voice, a yodel, they have function. It's not only for the sake of sounding good, of being impressive with the way you no, you are telling a story, you're having a conversation, and that's pretty much what we cover inside the Building Your Voice program. So if you are interested in learning in depth all of these techniques, as well as how to organize them inside a song whenever you prepare your own version of a song, click the link in the description to check out all of the information on my singing program, Building Your Voice. But let's keep going.
We must be mistaken. It's the same old theme since 1916. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are dying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head?
A Gregorian voice. Another kind of passive vocal scheme. Vocal folds are relaxed. And we don't have that breathiness as we have for the breathy voice. Beautiful. Yodels. Yodels, yodels, yes. That's yet another passive vocal scheme. That would be the weak voice. The weak voice, different from the Gregorian voice, which is more projected, you have more subglottic pressure that will be translated into more volume, and different from the breathy voice, which will also have an important level of subglottic pressure and also that escape of air. For the weak voice, you pretty much control a lot of the air pressure that you're sending so that you don't have volume. It's really quiet. The weak voice doesn't happen quite a lot in singing in general, but it does happen sometimes, and it's magical what it can do in terms of making your performance dramatic, because again, you're singing super quiet. Really like the arrangement. Alright guys, that's it. That's our analysis for Zombie by the Cranberries as sang by First to 11. Let me know what you think of the song, of course what you think of their performance and what you think of my analysis. If you are curious about my own singing, sometimes you might be, because you'll be listening to vocal coaches and then you'll be like, okay, this person can talk about voice, but how do they sound when they actually sing for real? Then I'm proud to say that I'm also on the battlefield just like yourself. If you're a singer, I'll leave a card up here that will lead you to a playlist with my original music. Your feedback on my music would mean the world to me, because yeah, I'm also a musician. I not only talk about music, I not only talk about voice, but I make music as well. And hearing what you think of it is what keeps me moving when it comes to that. Alright, so check it out, leave me your feedback. If you want to become a singing student inside the Building Your Voice program, then please follow the link in the description below and you get all of the info. We cover all of the techniques and much more: active vocal schemes, passive vocal schemes, ornaments, distortions, all of that and much more. Link in the description. Okay guys, so that's all for today. You enjoy your day, you enjoy your coffee, and remember, if your concepts cannot be seen in the real world, then they must change and not the world. See you in the next one.